So today's shloka for the day is shloka number 31 of chapter 6. Sarvabhutassthitam yo mam bhajatyekattvamastithah sarvatha vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. Sarvabhutassthitam yo mam bhajatyekattvamastithah sarvatha vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. Sarvabhutassthitam yo mam bhajatyekattvamastithah bhajatyekatvam asthitah sarvatha vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. Please recite after me. Sarvabhutassthitam yo mam
Sarvabhutassthitam yo mam
bhajatyekatvam asthitah sarvatha vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. Sarvabhutassthitam yo mam bhajatyekatvam asthitah sarvatha vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. Sarvabhutassthitam yo mam bhajatyekatvam asthitah sarvatha vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. Word for word meaning and translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sarva Bhuta Sthitam, situated in everyone's heart. Yaha, he who, mam, me, bhajati, serves in devotional service. Ekatvam, in oneness. Asthitaha, situated. Sarvatha, in all respects. Vartamanaha, being situated. Api, in spite of. Saha, he, yogi, the transcendentalist. Mai, in me. Vartate, remains. Translation: such a yogi who engages in the worshipful service of the super soul, knowing that I and the super soul are one,
knowing that I and the
knowing
super
that
soul
I,
are one,
the super soul, are one,
remains always in me
remains always
remains
in me
always in me
in all circumstances.
in all
in all
circumstances.
circumstances.
So in this particular shloka, the Lord is actually connecting shloka 29 and 30 together. We said that shloka 29 is Paramatma realization and shloka 30 is Bhagavan realization. Here, the Lord is emphatically stating this particular shloka actually refutes the Mayavadi philosophy that Brahman is higher than Bhagavan. Whereas in Vaishnava philosophy, it is Brahman is the lowest, Paramatma is the next, and Bhagavan is the final. The Mayavadis believe that Brahman realization is the highest. Here, the Lord is using the word Yomam. He's clearly indicating that those who are focused on the Supersoul and those who are focused on Brahman ultimately are worshipping him, but not in his Bhagavan feature. So those three shlokas, 28, 29, and 30, is all being connected together in this particular shloka, where the Lord is emphatically using the word Mam, me, which means when the Lord is saying they are worshipping me, he is establishing himself as Bhagavan. So certainly Bhagavan is the highest form of realization. So this Ekatvam, which is the one super soul that that mystically splits up into multiple super souls and is occupying every single Jivatma. This is something that is inconceivable to us. How can one Paramatma be residing in all Jivatmas? So this Ekatvam, one, and the Supreme Absolute Truth, that whoever is worshipping the Brahman form or the Paramatma form or the Bhagavan form of the Lord are in effect worshipping the Lord, but they are worshipping in his different features. So there is another shloka in chapter 18, the 61st shloka, where the Lord says, Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddesh arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutam yantra rudhani mayaya. So the Lord says in that particular shloka that he himself is seated in everyone's heart, directing the wanderings of all of the living entities. And this yantra, they are sitting inside this machine called this human body, but the Lord is actually directing them. So the difference between Paramatma realization and Bhagavan realization, when the Lord says it's actually me inside every single living entity, we discussed, actually, if you recall from the Gita Sandesh classes, we talked about how there is one shloka where the Lord says he is impartial, and at the same time that he is a very close friend to his devotees, and the devotees are his close friends. So in that particular shloka, the way we understood that particular shloka is that the Lord is neutral towards those who don't want a relationship with him. The Lord is no longer neutral when somebody has established a personal relationship with him in any one of the rasas. So the Lord is impartial as Paramatma, and the Lord is very partial as Bhagavan, because of the relationship difference there. The Supersoul is simply being worshipped as the Supersoul, as the Supersoul being acknowledged as all-pervading. But there's no personal relationship with that Supersoul. The minute a personal relationship happens, that Supersoul actually engages with you as Bhagavan. So that is the fundamental difference between Paramatma realization and Bhagavan realization, is the relationship factor. So the Mayavadis ultimately believe that the super soul pervades everything, and therefore we are also part of the super soul. Of course, there's some element of truth to it, but it is not 100% accurate. Their interpretation is different in the sense that in the Mayavadi philosophy, individuality is not maintained. Everybody is Brahman. Everybody just, quote unquote, merges into the super soul, and therefore there is only one big Brahman. That's all there is. Formless Brahman. But that's not what the Lord is indicating here. He's specifically using the word mam, me, meaning personal, not impersonal. So that's the essence of today's shloka. It's just tying up the connection between the super soul and Bhagwan in the previous two shlokas.